I, I have to ask you all, okay? You have a mother that does anything and everything they can for you. And then they tell you, your kid tells you, like, I was talking to my son and he said that he was a bum years ago because he didn't work. Because you didn't work, that doesn't make you a bum. And I said to him, I said, so I don't work, does that make me a bum? Yes. If you don't work and you have no reason not to work, it makes you a bum. It's because I like people like you, asshole, that I am not working. It's like, and you'll try to make me out like I'm a bad person. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. My son ought to be ashamed of himself. And any child that is just like that, because I've done nothing but good. Because I speak up and I say something that you are too cowardly to say. Am I angry? You're fucking right. I'm angry. Am I a raging lunatic? Only because you people make me that way. So if I become the fucking monster that you can't stand, blame it on yourself, hey? Because I'm not a monster. You're the monster. You tell your mother that they're a fucking bum, knowing what they've went through in their life, and you tell your mother that they're a bum. I have a legal degree. I have a paralegal. I have stuff from a university, and you call me a fucking bum because assholes like you. You know, the children nowadays, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. You really ought to be ashamed of yourself. And people want to say, with the way you talk about people, there ain't nothing that I don't say that ain't fucking true. So to my son, you'll find out one day how much of a fucking bum I am. Because I'm not the fucking bum. Why don't you look at your girlfriend? Is she a bum? Or are you going to say she's got fucking extenuating circumstances because she's got kids? There are many people that got kids. So is she a bum? You ought to be ashamed of yourself, boy. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. When you needed something, who did you come to? You came to me. Whether I was the last on your list or not. That just tells me, oh, well, she's only good enough if we can't find somebody else. To my son, you really ought to be ashamed of yourself. You wanted to hurt me? Now wait for the pain to come back. I'm not going to be vindictive, but there's going to come a day that you're going to wish that you hadn't said that to me. You have a cold heart, and you were not like that until you got in this relationship. So to my son and ones like him, you ought to be ashamed of yourself. All I could do was just scream. It was that fucking painful in my son's, oh, you always go on your podcast. You think you're better than everybody else now, boy. And I call you a boy because you are acting like a little boy. You say about your father You say about your cousin. You might want to have a look at your own fucking house. You want to keep my grandson from me? And yes, I do have suspicions. Not because I'm saying she's someone who sleeps around. But you tell me that I'm a bum? No, you're a fucking asshole. And I do call my son an asshole because I call it how I see it. And you thought it was funny? What, like at the ball field? You thought it was funny to say that I was a fucking idiot under your breath so nobody else could hear you? And then I turn around and have at you? To make me look bad, right? You ought to be ashamed of yourself. But wait a minute, you won't because you think you did nothing wrong. See, the difference between you and I is I'm not afraid to speak my truth. I'm not afraid to say something to someone. Why don't you pull up your big boy pants? Because you never used to treat me disrespectful. And don't say that I treat you disrespectful because I don't. Don't you dare tell me that I don't treat those kids like my grandkids because I have from day one. Go be with that family. Because I'm not the bum. I have worked. I worked in a law firm. And I got in a car accident and I sustained a lot of fucking injuries. But I still put up with your shit. And I still helped you, even though I was unwell. So no, I'm not a bum. But you are an asshole. And I don't give a fuck if you're my son or not. You ought to be ashamed of yourself. And people really need to know the truth. Now I see why people disown their children. Why children disown their parents. You're a problem child. And it wasn't my making. You have no respect. I don't apologize for what I put up about you and your girlfriend. Because I never said anything that didn't come out of your mouth. Go to the money, Dylan. Go to the money. But just remember, don't come when I got some. You want to call me a bum? I'll show you what a bum is. And it won't be a bum on the streets. And I don't bum for money. But you might want to go get some therapy. Because as they say, you're whipped. If you treat your mother like this, and then you blame it on your mother, you just remember what you did. Because you haven't fessed up to any of it yet. You just blamed me for it. Don't have anything to do with me, I don't care. But I know my rights as a grandparent. And I'm keeping track.